Our next guest is a world-renowned master of one of the oldest living musical traditions on earth. A proud descendant of the Yamatji people of Western Australia, he is an artist whose breath gives life to the very soul of the landscape. He is widely recognised as one of the most visually and sonically mesmerising didgeridoo or yiriki players of our time. But to call him just a musician would be to miss the depth of his craft. He is a storyteller, a songwriter, and a multi-instrumentalist who has taken the ancient vibrations of his heritage and woven them into the fabric of the global stage. From the quiet stillness of the outback to the grand halls of the London Philharmonic Orchestra, his virtuosity knows no bounds. He has collaborated with legends like Robert Plant and Jimmy Page, providing that the language of the didgeridoo is universal, capable of bringing the gap between traditional ceremony and contemporary rock, jazz, and classical music. Through his evocative performances, he paints pictures of the desert, the wind, and the ancestral spirits that guide him. His music is not just a performance, it is a profound act of cultural preservation and a rhythmic testament to the resilience of his people. Please welcome a global ambassador of Australian culture, a master of the breath, and a visionary performer, Mark Atkins. Hello.
Thanks for that.
That welcome. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to be here.
There was a lot of mention of the yiriki in the introduction, but I'd like to go back before all these performances and all this work that you've done with this instrument and go back to when you were a musician and how it all started.
Yeah. Okay. Well, from where it started, I'd say around about 64. That's when I started. I learned, I was learning piano, and but I went to a CBC, the Christian Brothers College, and I went to bloody St. Joseph. And so at a very early age, I had an interest in the piano. So I started learning piano, which helped later on in the years, but it was easy enough for me, but every time I did a wrong note, the bloody sisters would hit me with the cane and turned us across the knuckles. And after a while, and then one day I really must have said it, just slammed the lid down on my fingers. And I thought, no, this is not worth it, I'll just, no, I'm not going to play. So I couldn't really for a few days. So I didn't bother anymore. Then I went to high school later in the 60s. And then, then I got into learning a bit of guitar, just playing rhythm, that sort of thing. And then I went and crawled in under a tent one day at a fair and seen a band playing and the drummer and that. And got to know the drummer. And then he said, look, just grab some stuff and bring it in with me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I helped him with his job, and I sit on the stage back behind, and I just watched him. So then I went, and the biggest thing that we did in them days, most of us, or us, a mob of the families, that we'd go to the dump on a Sunday, and we'd get all the bits and pieces and make bikes, or just get things going, or fix things, or go out with the air rifles, air guns, and slingshots, and make targets and break bottles and everything. Anyway, so I found all these bits and pieces, tins, and an old plough cymbal I used as a cymbal, plough disc, used to cook in them too. Mm-hmm. So I made this, I used to have this, they had these old tea chests, that you see some of the fellas with playing the bush bass, Mm-hmm. So, and then I thought there was enough bloody bottle drops in the shed that the old man and his mate, always charging up in there. And so I got all these bottles off and we did the broom and did all of that. And then I thought, shit, I was just sitting there one day and I turned the thing over, the what do you call it, the box, the tea chest, and that was my bass drum. I used just to kick it. So I'd sit there and kick. And this sticks like out of the strawberry, made up. And that was my first drum kit. Using paintings and that symbol, that was my ride, this. And then one day, I was on the bed and I said everything, and it just, the lids came off because I was hitting a bit hard. Anyway, so Mum was really upset, and I could hear her, no, we're gonna have to get that boy a drum kit. That's it. The second time he's done that, the mess everywhere. So I was trouble. I was a little bit hesitant about it, because he was a country singer too, and that. Anyway, so he does all these big things. But anyway, my grandmother had some money, $30, $40, I think, at that time, and a big bass drum, like, the drum was very big as me. It was like that, and a snare, and a hi-hat, and one cymbal off it. Cut a long story short, that's where it all started for me. Then by the 72, playing in bands, and at 74, sort of got right into it. And
Are you still in school at this time?
I left school then, at 74, and then I was playing drums.
Part of Australia.
Mainly Western Australia. We come across in the early 80s, we sort of come across to, in around Sydney, like there was what was that place, the city, can't remember, you have to pubs there, but, out at Glebe, we camped in Glebe, because in the 70s they used to have all these places where you could squatters and just camp there, but it was all mainly stand-up comics and
This is in the 80s.
70s, 80s, yeah.
It was a Toxteth.
Yeah, I can't bloody remember that. A lot of water over the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so and that but it sort of caught up with me over the years, because back in the, there was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, man. It's anyway. So I've been clinically dead 3 times through drugs, and Mum said to me, "Well, you got to go home." So I went home up with my mum, my uncle, and he sort of took me under his arm and started teaching me Gomeroi, which they call it up that way, didgeridoo. And that sort of, I got off all the hard drugs, stuff like that, but if it wasn't, like for the music, I would have been dead or in jail, easy in those. But I've been in jail a few times. But anyway, but it was the music that sort of thing, and just that culture and everything that came along with the stories. And I remember hearing it the first time when I was up that way, and it's like it was just like this wow, and then I found out what they were singing about, the songs and everything, what the hours, and so it just grabbed me. And I guess I haven't put it down since.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's a bit of a journey, but getting people to it was always like you played that, you did that, that sort of thing. And I just wanted to help sort of like push it. I knew that it should have been right out there, I mean, all the players then could count on one hand, a lot of great players around now, but it was back, 40, 50 years ago. But I was just waiting for them to help to push that out there so they could fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
And even on their own, it tells the story, I try and use the other instruments as characters, Sometimes when I'm working with orchestra, how do you play with the orchestra? I said, well, it's like a walk in the park. I treat all those instruments as myself as a character, like I visual things when I'm playing.
Yeah.
And what can I do to enhance that? We'll have a conversation. It's like a conversation. You're going to talk over the top of someone. I don't really, nah. But you're going to talk over the top, or you're going to talk with them, or,
Okay, yes, that's more like call and response. Is the one.
Yeah.
And you can play with them at the same time as well.
Yeah. And yes, But that's how I my approach to that. And of course, just visualizing it a lot. like to watch myself sometimes and so many taps on the shoulder, you know. I got a 20-minute spot and I'm still playing at 30 minutes because I'm just lost in this thing.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, you know, like, do you just make that up? Or I said, whatever happens in my life, you know, what if I see an animal, they're taking in you, just running out there, out there, kicking up puffs of red desert dust, you know,
Yes.
and shy, you know, the wind blows and the feathers move and it's looking, just, you know, yeah, that's how I, you know, try and capture.
Mm.
And I might start a few words just to sort of set that up, and the rest is for the imaginations, you know. Yeah, it's like reading a book, I suppose, but
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, from a few bands, going back home, back to family, and uncle goes and teaches you
yeah,
how to play. Yeah. You don't call it yidiki, you call it what was the word for the didgeridoo?
Bulumbu,
Gurumbo.
yeah.
And has it been the didgeridoo ever since, or do you sometimes go back to playing drums or guitar? Or?
I just said it, the drums kit up the other day, because just for the grandkids, you know, because I've sort of opened, you know, just sitting in the shed there, and the kids said, Pop, I want to play drums, can you set them up? And so I've got about 3 or 4, about 20 of them, but they'll come up there and want to see and have a place. And I think it might really drumsticks, but anyway, they're learning, you know, and then that's it, you know.
Yeah.
We didn't have any teachers back then, like, you know, like what they have now, all the opportunities we've got now. So, you know, just go and watch. I only learned by watching, didn't have, you know, all that stuff you can do now. But so, yeah, watching and listening, and that's what they're doing anyway. So, but then I say, well, look, later on, the other ones that are, you know, 16, 17, whatever, said, well, you can YouTube it, whatever. Good at it. Yeah, so I just get them started and that learning source. Yeah, same with guitar wise, just because, I mean, I used to, you know, get a bit of slide and stuff like that with the guitar and that, but you know, my hands are sort of bugging up. That thing's been broken for a few years, because, you know, if I still on piano, I play like boogie and stuff like that. I love that stuff, you know, in the festival and all that stuff. So I'll sit there and do that, but I can't, because that thing gets in the road and this one locks up on me like that. So I've got to straighten it out. So it's, yeah, just, I don't know, I'm supposed to get older, I suppose, a bit, and all these things coming back.
Like arthritis.
Yeah. But, you know, I just play rhythm there. And sometimes my hand will lock up and then I'll just put my hand in it. But anyway, still playing rhythm. I get away with it till it comes good, and then I'll have to give it no guitar player. They just look at it and say, yeah, that way someday. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah,
but it's a pain in the ass, to be honest. But while I've still got some teeth in that, I can still play, you know, the pitch.
Yeah, nice.
That's chopped and changed over the years.
So it sounds like there's been a journey and a half that you've gone through. I don't know if the word's privileged, but to be able to have a piano lessons, learn how to play guitar, play the drums, and then go around the world with the didgeridoo.
Yeah.
What an experience.
Yeah, well, it wasn't planned or anything. I'm going to travel the world, you know. I just wanted to put it out there, record it wise, and just, you know. But, so I did put it out there, and then people said, really interesting, you know, you have your own particular style of playing, so we'd like, you know, that could fit with what we're doing, you know. So different people, you know, I think it was in 1990, I was living in Japan for a while, and you know, lived in Holland for a while, Amsterdam and Heidelberg in Germany, and a few other places I can't pronounce. And so, because I was travelling that much, you know, and I ended up getting that bloody thrombosis bloody thing, and then it killed me. But you know, playing, I'd go over into 30 countries, you know, and in about bloody 3 weeks.
Well, go back in Australia's history, like from 88 onwards, Australia's starting to turn already, because referendums happen, but
Yeah,
really wanting to push a First Nations theme. And you're saying there's only 5 or didgeridoo
yeah,
players that are out there in the public eye at that time.
yeah,
Would have been many opportunities for you.
yeah. Well, that's what happened, you know. So that's why I ended up. I got a pretty good royalty in that. So I thought, oh, well, we'll go and live in over there. Because you just get boom, 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 boom. Instead of these long hauls, we was doing all the time. Fly over there, some places it took me like 56 hours to get to, like going to Milan on cheap variations. And just normally go from here to London, and I think it was 25 hours or 26 hours. And then come back and have to do that 5-6 times a year. It's just, so I was going, 6 to 8, 10 months of the year for about 30 years.
That must have been hard on you in a number of ways as well.
Oh.
It was a great opportunity and an experience, but what sort of challenges did that present?
Well, even from home, I suppose, because I missed about, like 3 of my kids growing up, That sort of, I said, where's Joey? Where's Luke? Where's left home? They got their, they missed that guy. I said, boys, you never been here, and they're, 16, 17, 18 by that time. And so I'd missed that whole thing, And, but anyway, that was a, bad time for me sort of thing. But anyway, and the missus and that sort of thing, but I was lucky. So, but now I can sort of pick and choose my work now. So, because I had a mortgage, and I had to, sit on up, go to different country towns or towns and sit down bus just to pay me bloody mortgage. Thank God, but I'm not a rich man, but I am in more ways than other ways. But I can make a living of it. And
it's like pros and cons. You've had a career, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like people should know, like with those wanting to get into performing, it's just like almost the more successful you'll be, the more you're going to be away from home.
Yeah, and
you just out on the kids' upbringing if you got a young one.
That's what happened there. Some of my kids are in music and play. I never really pushed them because I knew what would happen, I knew, and I thought, well, that partner you got there's not going to be a good partner for you. You're going to be traveling, just all this stuff. But anyway, so I never really sort of pushed them, but they said, well, it's follow your dream. And I did. I'm following my dream. So okay.
That's actually one of the questions that I get a lot as a musician is, do your kids play?
Yes.
And none of mine do. What about yours?
Yeah, I got probably 3 of them.
3 of them do?
But they're one sort of full time and the other just sort of off and on.
Yeah.
But the one, they're in their 40s now, and they sort of want to, because I think the access they had to all the things on computers and today, and all these, you don't need a lot of money to go into a studio because you can do it there, or you get somebody to a little studio and just go in there, $50, $100 and lay something down.
Yeah.
And the stuff they can do with it and AI and everything like that. Sad, really, but I think it stops them thinking about writing their own stories and their own wrong songs when you can push a button. Take a couple of weeks to write your own song,
Yeah.
It's a tool, but I think it's used too much. So when I was like, what are you going to learn? Because I was saying one fellow, I said, well, how can you get up there and you play for an hour? Well, I don't anymore, but just that didgeridoo. I said, no, hang on, I play 3 didgeridoos. You got to chop around a bit. But, and all different stories. But how do you do that, I said, why don't you get a looper? I said, no, just make it lazy,
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of these players, young ones, use it now. That's okay. And they use it and you get a sound that, but you don't sit down around for and play. They would never.
Hey, I really appreciate your time today, and I think all of us as Australians and the mob appreciate that, we've got people like yourselves that are paved the way and shown us, it can be done. I'm great. I'm so happy for you now that you can pick and choose. I do want to know about what's next for you in your musical journey.
Yeah, well, I've put together a show, just my own show, but it's just with visuals. When I say visual, it's a lighting design and that. I did Canberra and I did a tour of West Australia, and the last one I did was the State Theatre in Perth at the what's that, Heath Ledger's Theatre. I did for a nice theatre. Near on a full house, and that people were surprised because it's a new show.
A solo show?
Myself, and I got a lighting design. It will be played at the Obvious actually, but I'm not going to say that. So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've got some big shows coming up, and then 2027 I want to do a world tour, and they're talking about using holograms, West West. Well, that's going to cost a lot of money, but they'll pay for it. So I'm looking forward to that because that's why I couldn't have taken it any higher.
Yes.
To where I wanted to go, and that's what I wanted to do. But it took like 57 years, but I got there, to do what I wanted to do. And that's it. So, and the show's called Gomeroi and Gadigal, which is a one of my words of my mum back home, which means sitting by the fire. And it's that thing, sitting by the fire telling stories. And I've got speakers set up behind the audience. You're trying to get them to put it under, up the top of the sound design. Got a lighting design, and I've got one other fellow working with me. He does all the firework stuff.
I will be checking it out.
Really cool.
And look, I encourage all of you to check out Mum or brother Mark Atkins when he comes to a city near you with this new show. Thank you very much. Thanks for that. Thank you for that.
Thanks. I had a legend here too.
Thank you.